But putting the case, of which the world is not able to show an example, that the forfeiture of a populous nation not conquered, but friends, and in cool blood might be taken, your army must be planted in one of the ways mentioned. To plant it in the way of absolute monarchy, that is upon feuds for life, such as the Timars, a country as large and fruitful as that of Greece, would afford you but 16,000 Timariads. For that is the most the Turk, being the best husband that ever was of this kind, makes of it at this day. And if Oceana, which is less in fruitfulness by one half and in extent by three parts, should have no greater a force, whoever breaketh her in one battle may be sure she shall never rise, for such as was noted by Machiavel is the nature of the Turkish monarchy. If you break her in two battles, you have destroyed her whole militia. The rest being all slaves, you hold her without any further resistance. Wherefore the erection of an absolute monarchy in Oceana, or in any other country that is no larger, without making it a certain prey unto the first invader, is altogether impossible. To plant by halves, as the Roman emperors did their beneficiaries or military colonies, it must be either for life, and this is an army of Oceaners in their own country, especially having estates of inheritance, will never bear, because such an army so planted is as well confiscated as the people. Nor had the Mamluks been contented with such usage in Egypt, but that they were foreigners, and daring not to mix with the natives, it was of absolute necessity to their being, or planting them upon inheritance, whether aristocratically, as the Neustrians, or democratically, as the Israelites, they grow up by certain consequence unto the national interest. And this, if they be planted popularly, comes unto a commonwealth, if by way of nobility, unto a mixed monarchy, which of all other will be found to be the only kind of monarchy of which this nation, or any other that is of no greater extent, hath been or can be capable. For if the Israelites, though their democratical balance, being fixed by their agrarian, stood firm, be yet found to have elected kings, it was because, their territory lying open, they were perpetually invaded, and being perpetually invaded, turned themselves to anything which, through the want of experience, they thought might be a remedy, whence their mistake in election of their kings, under whom they gained nothing, but to the contrary lost all they had acquired by their commonwealth, both estates and liberties, is not only apparent, but without parallel. And if there have been, as was shown, a kingdom of the Goths in Spain, and of the Vandals in Africa, consisting of a single person and a parliament, taking a parliament to be a council of the people only, without a nobility, it is expressly said of those councils that they deposed their kings as often as them pleased. Nor can there be other consequence of such a government, seeing where there is a council of the people, they do never receive laws, but give them, and a council giving laws unto a single person. He hath no means in the world whereby to be any more than a subordinate magistrate, but force, in which case he is not a single person in a parliament, but a single person in an army, which army again must be planted as hath been shown, or can be, of no long countenance. It is true that the provincial balance being in nature quite contrary unto the national, you are no ways to plant a provincial army upon dominion. But then you must have a native territory in strength, situation, or government, able to overbalance the foreign, or you can never hold it. That an army should in any other case be long supported by a mere tax is a mere fancy, as void of all reason and experience, as if a man should think to maintain such an one by robbing of orchards. For a mere tax is but pulling of plum trees, the roots whereof are in other men's grounds, who, suffering perpetual violence, come to hate the author of it. And it is a maxim that no prince that is hated by his people can be safe. Arms planted upon dominion extirpate enemies and make friends, but maintained by a mere tax, have enemies that have roots and friends that have none. To conclude, Oceana, or any other nation of no greater extent, must have a competent nobility, or is altogether incapable of monarchy. For where there is equality of estates, there must be equality of power, and where there is equality of power, there can be no monarchy.